Thank you all for your willingness to join us today as we discuss what I think is an increasingly important topic, and that is electronic waste. What do we mean by electronic waste? Electronic waste, or e-waste as many call it, consists of various electronic products, including televisions, including home appliances, batteries. These electronics are created using valuable materials, as you know, such as nickel, which can be and should be recycled. As some of you also know, recycling has been a lifelong passion of a number of us on this committee, including me. I think I recycled just about everything from a Ford Explorer. We call it affectionately the Ford Exploder. It never exploded. But it used to be my wife's vehicle, and then passed down to his son Christopher, passed down to Ben, and I finally took it without telling my wife one day. It was probably about 15 years old, and I took it to a place that had it recycled, and they gave me a check for I think like $900. And this was Martha's car. I never told her about the $900, so please keep it quiet. I've recycled just about everything, including dehumidifier, which I thought was my all-time favorite things to recycle. But doing so benefits our environment as well as our economy, as well as our basement, and providing some more extra room in our basement and garage. That is a win-win for the Carper family, and I suspect a win-win for a lot of other families too. Unfortunately, our current systems don't always make it easy to recycle e-waste. Each year, around 50 million tons of electronic waste are discarded in landfills globally, valued at an estimated $62.5 billion. That's billion with a B. These figures don't include the electronic waste such as old smartphones, old computers that often remain in our homes, collecting dust long after we stop using them. In addition to their lost value, the electronics that end up in landfills often leach toxic chemicals into the soil, threatening the health and well-being of nearby communities. So how do we get here, and what are we going to do about it? Several factors have contributed to the growing problem of pollution from e-waste. First of all, consumer demand, alongside rapid technological innovation, has led to a steady increase in the production of new electronics. And sadly, our ability to make use of the rare materials contained within discarded e-waste hasn't kept pace with this production. In addition, insufficient domestic e-waste recycling standards, limited recycling infrastructure, and a lack of education have furthered our growing electronic waste dilemma. Many producers have contributed to this problem as well, creating barriers to repairing devices by limiting the availability of parts, tools, and information needed to keep things working. This forced scarcity drives up the consumption of new products. Fortunately, the adversity of e-waste also presents us with some clear opportunities. For example, recycling electronics at the end of their useful life allows for the recovery of critical minerals such as nickel, such as cobalt. Both are important components, if you know, of electric vehicles, solar panels, and other clean energy technologies. Improving e-waste recycling would help us reach our climate goals while also reducing our reliance on foreign sources from critical earth minerals. In addition, taking proper care of electronic waste is vital to national security as it ensures adequate supply chains and prevents the loss of sensitive information through digital files. Today, we're interested in learning more about the role that the federal government can and should play in e-waste recycling. This includes the creation of standards that shore up our supply chains and protect human health and environment. That being said, the companies that create electronic waste must also take greater responsibility for reducing waste and recycling their products. We're already beginning to see innovation in this space. As we'll hear today, Cycle is pioneering battery recycling technology that allows us to recapture critical minerals. In addition, Human IT is employing furbishing techniques that extend the life of electronic products. And from experience, we know that when industry, environmental groups, and all levels of government join forces to address our environmental changes, we all benefit. As co-chair of the Recycling Caucus with Senator Bozeman and with Senator Capito and others, I know that most Americans want to do the right thing when it comes to e-waste disposal, and still they are often unsure of where to go or, frankly, how to do it. Unfortunately, many municipalities either don't accept electronic waste through curbside recycling programs, or they don't offer e-waste recycling at all. Consumers are limited to manufacturing take-back programs or have no option but to put their waste, their electronics in the trash. We now have an opportunity to improve e-waste recycling, and I believe we are. In the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Inflation Reduction Act, we included funding to develop battery recycling technology and best practices, as well as to improve public education and recycling infrastructure. These investments are a starting point to help increase electronic recycling rates. In addition, the Recycling and Composting Accountability Act legislation that I introduced with Senator Capito and with Senator Bozeman, and that this committee advanced unanimously in April, would take a close look at where materials are being lost from circularity. This critical information would help improve how we recycle electronics. So let me close by again thanking our witness for joining us in our efforts to improve electronics recycling. Today we hope to hear your thoughts on how we can improve our efforts to establish a circular economy for electronic waste. Together, I'm confident we can raise to the gravity of this challenge and, as we say in Delaware, seize the day, or Carper diem. And with that, let me turn over to our ranking member, Senator Capito, for opening remarks.